I left the Phoenix area the day before where it was 108 degrees Fahrenheit and arrived here where it was 50 degrees and about 7,000 feet higher in elevation. Once I stepped out of the truck, I decided I am not going back to Phoenix at least until October. What's up, guys? So I am so excited to be here. So I haven't done this trail in years. I think the last time I was here was when I first got into photography. I don't even think I had bought my first tripod yet. It's been a long time, but it's one of my favorite trails. What I'm doing here is I'm scouting for fall colors. There's a big thick stand of aspen trees here on this trail, and I'm so excited. There's nobody else here right now. One of the things with this trail too is there's a lot of deer, elk, and occasionally bears. I've never seen one on this trail, but they are in the area. So what I'm gonna do is walk around with my 70 to 200 already out and ready. The sun's getting ready to come up here in about 15 minutes. So I'm not really needing light or sky because I'm gonna be in some thick forest. So all I'm doing now is just kind of waiting a little bit longer so I have a little bit more light. I'm gonna start walking here in about 15 minutes and yeah, see what kind of stuff we can get, because this place, I can't wait to see it. The trail starts off at an elevation of around 8,200 feet, and over the next 3 miles I would make it to about 9,500 feet on a pretty steady incline. The altitude made it extremely rough, and I realized pretty quickly that I should have started that hike about 30 minutes sooner. It doesn't help that I was carrying about 25 pounds of camera gear. On the hill. It's really loud. It's not a deer, so it's either an elk or a bear foraging. It's snapping branches, big thick logs. It's heavy, whatever it is. It's maybe 100 yards, but it's so thick I can't see, and it's not moving very fast. Well, I never did see what it was. It kind of moved up. I kept hearing it, but it kept getting farther away. It wasn't in a hurry though, so whatever it was, either maybe a couple of elk or a bear, but they may have heard me. I was trying to be as quiet as possible, but you know, walking on pine needles and stuff, it's kind of hard, so it kind of kept moving off. It didn't run or anything, but just kind of moved off slowly. So for those of you guys who don't know, I absolutely love wildlife. I wish I could do more. I wish I would do more wildlife photography, because when I see animals, my heart starts pounding. Oh, I get so excited. So, all right, guys, continue on. Oh, all right, guys, so I've been walking for about an hour and a half. It's been like a gradual uphill the whole time, and you know, it's probably a 20%, 25% incline, and man, this is rough. This is a harder spot to get to for you know, getting into the aspen trees. On the other side is an extremely popular spot called Lockett Meadow. You can actually drive right up and you're in the aspens, but it's so popular, especially during fall colors. You can't get a campsite there without showing up, you know, a week early, and you know, parking's pretty limited, so it can be pretty tough, which is why I wanted to come on this side. But man, this is tough, and it's all uphill. I'm hoping it flattens out, because you know, photography wise, when it's just everything's uphill or downhill, you know, there's no flat areas, it's kind of hard to take photos. Man, yeah, it's exhausting, but absolutely beautiful place. And when this place turns into fall, you know, when it hits fall colors, oh, it's gonna be gorgeous. But it's a tough hike, especially with a bunch of camera gear, and it's taking me a lot longer because, you know, I gotta film, so I set up the camera and then walk by and set it up again and walk by again, and you know, doing stuff like that. So it's man, this is a tough one. Alright, so I've come to the area I think I like a lot. It's flattened out quite a bit. There's just aspen trees everywhere. The next challenge is I am definitely not a woodland photographer. I know it's surprising, I'm from Arizona, but it's one thing I don't really do hardly at all. What an absolute spectacular location though. Absolutely worth the hike. Well, I have been walking around for about a half an hour up here and really haven't got much. I'll show you guys what I got so far, but I'm struggling big time. And you know, on the other side, the popular spot, there's some really great spots. I mean, it doesn't take you long to get there, maybe 20 minutes of a hike, and then you're in a really flat area. There's aspens everywhere and birch trees, and it's a lot more photogenic, I think. This place is, you know, it's a 2-hour hike just to get here, and a lot of it is, you know, it's at an angle, a lot, you know, very hilly. There's a couple of flat spots, but, you know, I'm having such a hard time finding a composition. I am absolutely terrible at woodland photography. I might as well start photographing squirrels at this point. So what I think I'm going to do is get up here and start hiking back. There's a couple of smaller aspen stands on the way back out, and maybe I can find something over there. And I think with fall colors, when the leaves start falling, there's a lot more opportunity for abstracts or intimate detail shots, you know, up close. When I was walking up, I noticed some bigger green leaves that had like big drops of dew on them. That's something that I could have shot, but because I wanted to get up here, I just simply passed them right up. And I hate that I do that sometimes, but you know, probably by now I'm sure the dew's burned off the grass and the leaves, but I can head back and kind of just take my time on the way and look more towards the detail shots. Walking up here, I was looking for, you know, the birch trees and the aspen trees and looking for light and things like that, and kind of having this in mind, this kind of big aspen stand. But you know, like I said, it's been pretty tough right here in this area. And it just goes uphill from there up to an old logging road, and then takes you over, and it's a big loop, a 7-mile loop. So I'm probably, I don't know, maybe 3 miles in right now. I think it's time to start heading back. So I found a photo I think I really like a lot. So because all of these aspens I'm facing the sun, so everything's backlit, it's casting really long shadows. And what I'm using those shadows as leading lines. And I'm at about f16 or f18, and I'm focus stacking and exposure bracketing because shooting into the sun, you know, you got the sun, there's a really high dynamic range. And then focus stacking because I'm shooting at a wide angle and I want to get everything sharp from front to back on this one. So I'm going to take one focus right in the foreground, and I'm going to bracket that, and then I'm going to select a second focus point a little bit farther back and then bracket that. So get, you know, make sure that everything's sharp, make sure that I have that later on. I don't think I'll need it because you know, I'm focused out a little bit farther away, so I'm pretty sure I'm at my hyperfocal distance, so I shouldn't have to worry about sharpness, but I'm going to focus stack anyway just in case. So now I'm going to select focus point a little bit farther away. Make sure that I'm nice and sharp. Do a 3-shot bracket here, exposure bracket. 1 stop apart. Still at f18. And now I have enough information everywhere in the shadows and the highlights. So I've got sharpness in the foreground, sharpness in the background. I got exposure bracketing with both of those focus points. So I think I have everything that I need later on. You know, maybe I'll use just one photo, maybe I'll use, you know, 2 or 3, who knows. It's as long as I have that, so later on I can, you know, make that decision in post-processing. But yeah, I found a spot that I like, so I'm very happy. Now I can kind of relax and just you know, hike back and maybe find something else. Alright guys, well, one thing I think to take away from this is when you're really tired, you know, out of breath and your legs are hurting, it's extremely hard to be creative and find that mindset. You know, I had a difficult time, and I think that was part of the problem. I did like that last shot with the Sunstar that I came out with. I think at least on the back of the camera, it looked nice, you know, with those shadows. But other than that, I kind of struggled a bit, and so it's something I got to keep doing. So yeah, but the purpose was to come out here and do a little scouting for fall colors. That's going to happen here from today. It's going to be about 2 months away, almost 2 months. And when Chris gets out here, we're going to either come up here, go up to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. I guess there's some fall colors supposed to be up there too as well. There's a couple of areas up there. Yeah, I'm excited for fall colors, and I'm excited to you know, get out of this heat and wait for the temperatures to start cooling down, because it's just been so nasty. The monsoons weren't very good. So just a quick reminder too, there's still spots available for the workshop January 2020. Myself, Brendan Vanson, and of course Chris will be there. It's January 10th to the 18th, Northern Arizona, White Pocket, Sedona, places like that. It's going to be absolutely epic. So I'll leave a link in the description for the workshop, and I hope to see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Bye.